They say every scandal begins with a whisper, but this one started with a scream. People in the courtroom swear they felt the ground shift the moment Erika Kirk walked in, quiet, pale, but with a look in her eyes that said she was done being afraid. No one expected her to bring anything more than her testimony, but according to sources, what she carried in her hand wasn't evidence. It was betrayal wrapped in digital ink. A betrayal so shocking that even the accused reportedly went stiff in their seat, like they already knew what was coming. For months, the public saw polished speeches, smiling handshakes, and picture-perfect photo ops from one of the most influential political figures in the country. But behind those smiles, behind those carefully crafted words, sources say something rotten was growing. Erika knew it. She lived it. She allegedly watched the hypocrisy unfold in private rooms, whispered phone calls, and late-night messages that no one was ever supposed to see. And today, she finally snapped. She didn't expose everything, not yet. She didn't say the full truth out loud. But the way she looked at the judge, the way the courtroom froze, it was clear. The real scandal is finally breaking. To understand the storm unfolding now, you have to understand the man at the center of it, the figure whose reputation once felt untouchable. For years, he cultivated a public image that seemed almost too perfect. The disciplined family man, the polished public servant, the charismatic speaker who knew exactly how to command a crowd. Cameras loved him, supporters adored him, and his social media presence was a carefully curated blend of inspirational quotes, early morning workout clips, and staged moments of relatable humanity. He was the kind of figure who smiled easily, embraced admirers warmly, and ended every speech with a message about values, loyalty, and integrity. On Instagram, he posted pictures of cozy family dinners with captions like, "Nothing matters more than truth and unity." On TikTok, he joked with his staff, showing off the behind-the-scenes of his honest day's work. And every time he appeared on a talk show, he carried himself as the steady, reassuring voice in a world full of noise. But people forget something. Public personas are costumes. And sometimes, behind the brightest smile, there's a shadow no one sees. That's where Erika comes in. She wasn't a random figure swept into the drama. She'd known him for years, through campaigns, conferences, private strategy sessions, moments that never made it online. They reportedly shared a trusted professional bond, the kind that blurred lines between advisory roles and personal confidence. In public, he praised her intelligence. In private, according to those close to her, he leaned on her more than he admitted. Their connection was subtle but visible if you looked closely. Fans circulated photos of them at events, joking together. Someone even dug up an old tweet he wrote 2 years ago, "Grateful to work with people who challenge me to be better." Erika Kirk is one of the best. No one thought much of it back then. But recently things shifted. Erika grew distant. He grew defensive. Rumors began to spread in small online forums, whispers that something behind the scenes had fractured the trust between them. A journalist even tweeted last week, "Something strange is happening among the inner circle, keep your eyes open." And then there were those posts, the ones people didn't pay attention to at first. Erika tweeting late at night, "Some truths are too heavy to carry alone." Another, "Loyalty means nothing if it hides corruption." At the time, they seemed cryptic. Now, they feel like warnings. Because beneath the flawless public image, a crack had already formed. The betrayal was beginning. The timeline of what happened next feels almost unreal, like a slow-motion disaster no one recognized until it was too late. It began quietly, months before the courtroom eruption, with what sources describe as a shift in tone between Erika and the political figure she once trusted. Meetings that were once open became closed-door. Conversations that had been warm reportedly turned clipped, cautious. Staffers whispered that he seemed paranoid, checking his phone constantly, walking out of rooms to take late-night calls that ended with him pacing in silence. Then came the first crack, a leaked voice message. It wasn't explosive on its own, just him allegedly saying, "We need to control this before someone talks." But to people who worked around him, it was chilling. Control what? Who was someone? The message spread quietly at first, passed around in private group chats among staffers and journalists. One commentator tweeted, "If this is real, it's bigger than we think." But without context, it fizzled. Still, Erika knew exactly what it meant. Sources say she confronted him in a private meeting. Witnesses claim they heard muffled arguing through the walls, her voice breaking, his tone cold. Someone reported hearing him say, "You don't understand the consequences," followed by Erika responding, "You can't keep hiding this." After that explosive exchange, their relationship, personal and professional, fractured beyond repair. The betrayal deepened. Fans started noticing the tension. A viral TikTok analyzed their last public appearance together, zooming in on their body language. Comments poured in. "Why is she avoiding eye contact? He looks nervous, like he's hiding something. Something's off." Meanwhile, talk show hosts weighed in. One nighttime pundit joked, "If those two ever write memoirs, we're getting the truth from only one of them, and I'm betting it's not him." The audience laughed, but the undertone was sharp. Behind closed doors, the situation was boiling. Insiders say key advisors tried to persuade Erika to stay quiet, allegedly offering her a safer role, a transfer, even time away to think. But she refused. According to someone close to her, she'd already seen too much: messages, decisions, actions that contradicted every value he preached publicly. And then came the breaking point. A message sent accidentally, or maybe fatefully, to Erika instead of its intended recipient. A message that hinted at a plan to discredit the liability before the leak spreads. She read it. She screenshot it. She cried. And from that moment on, the countdown to the scandal's explosion had officially begun. The fallout began almost instantly, like a domino line that no one could stop once the first piece tipped. Within hours of Erika receiving the accidental message, whispers spread across political circles that something serious was coming. Staffers were reportedly instructed to keep their phones off, delete sensitive messages, and avoid making statements without approval. That alone sent shockwaves through the inner circle, because for a team that prided itself on transparency, silence was the loudest alarm. Then came the legal tremors. According to sources, an emergency meeting was held with attorneys just 3 days before Erika appeared in court. Documents were reviewed, statements were drafted, and one insider claimed they were preparing for something catastrophic. His team allegedly discussed ways to frame Erika as confused, emotional, or misinformed, despite knowing the digital trail she carried was far more damaging than anyone on the outside realized. His family wasn't spared either. In public, they maintained the perfect, united front, smiling at charity events, posting photos captioned, "Together no matter what." But behind closed doors, things were fracturing. A relative allegedly confided to a friend, "We don't know what's true anymore. We don't know what to believe." That single comment leaked, and although quickly denied, millions had already seen it. Social media exploded with theories, timelines, and breakdowns of his past speeches. Clips resurfaced of him passionately declaring, "Integrity is the foundation of leadership." Commentators replayed that line again and again, contrasting it with the newly surfaced messages and the suspicious behavior his staff now displayed. The hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. Fans who once defended him fiercely started questioning everything. One viral post read, "If he preached honesty while hiding all this, what else is he hiding?" Another commenter wrote, "I supported this man. Now I feel stupid." The betrayal wasn't just political, it was personal. Meanwhile, Erika's world had shifted in ways she never expected. She reportedly received anonymous calls warning her to stop digging. Friends urged her to leave town for a few days. Even her own family worried that she had stepped into something darker than she understood. But Erika maintained one line to those close to her: "If I don't speak, no one will." The contrast between his public persona and the private chaos unfolding behind the scenes grew starker by the day. He continued posting upbeat photos, hiking trails, smiling with supporters, shaking hands, but observers noticed the fear in his eyes, the guilt,
The dread.
because he knew the truth was creeping closer. And once the first crack appears in a facade built on perfection, the entire structure begins to collapse. Everything we've just walked through, the late-night messages, the accidental leak, the trembling confrontation, the courtroom shock, it all paints a picture far more intense than anyone expected. A trusted bond shattered. A public figure's carefully polished persona cracking under the weight of alleged secrets. A woman who once stood beside him, now standing against everything he represents. And the fallout? Legal chaos, fractured relationships, loyal supporters turning into skeptics, the kind of emotional avalanche that destroys reputations and rewrites careers. But here's the real question. What do you think actually happened? Do you believe Erika acted out of courage, that she finally refused to stay silent while someone she trusted allegedly crossed moral lines? Or do you think she was pushed into a situation she never asked for, trapped between powerful forces fighting a battle she never wanted to be part of? Do you think the public figure at the center of all this betrayed his fans, his values, and everyone who believed in him? If you were in Erika's place, holding messages that could shake the foundation of someone's entire career, would you have stepped forward? Or would you have stayed quiet to protect yourself? And let's not forget, this is far from over. Sources say more messages exist. More people may be involved. And the courtroom scene that shocked everyone? It might just be the beginning, not the end. There are whispers of upcoming hearings, potential testimonies, and even new evidence that could flip this story upside down. So tell me, what's your theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this story with someone who loves a good twist. And make sure you're following, because the next chapter in this fictional drama could be even darker than the last. Your voice is part of the story now.